After 20 years in the U.S., Taiwanese American Tu Ho-Chou is preparing to cast her first vote for the country's president. The molecular and cell biologist arrived on a student visa, and after years as a permanent resident with a green card, she only gained citizenship in 2021. Now, the new mom is excited to take part in deciding the fate of the place her family calls home.
It feels like, it's good to learn, and then also it's an honor to be able to participate as well. It's not a given, right? You can vote, and I think a lot of countries, and especially we know nowadays, maybe more and more, they don't have that kind of right.
Tu has always been fascinated by democracy. Born in Taiwan, where self-rule is hard-won against territorial claims by authoritarian China, Tu says being in the U.S. is a chance to learn from the leader of the free world. The United States is home to a fifth of the world's international migrants, its melting pot identity tied to its diverse communities. Immigrants today account for over 14% of the country's population.
Of the roughly 244 million eligible voters this year, 1 in 10 are naturalized citizens, meaning they were born outside the U.S. That's more immigrants than ever before participating in the democratic process here, and the fastest growing group among them are the Asian Americans.
Despite the changing face of U.S. voters, immigration has been a fiercely debated issue in this election. Amid a surge of illegal crossings at the country's southern border with Mexico, both Democratic candidate Kamala Harris and Republican candidate Donald Trump have taken tough stands against illegal migrants, the former president going as far as to vow mass deportation. As Trump's camp ups anti-immigrant rhetoric, Harris, the daughter of immigrants herself, has reminded voters that part of the American spirit is the earned path to citizenship.
We must acknowledge we are a nation of immigrants.
For Taiwanese neuroscientist Anya Wang, coming to the U.S. from Taiwan 3 years ago was a chance to advance her career.
Scientific field-wise, America is still one of the biggest ones, and a lot of companies or labs, companies and the government is funding the labs, and so they just have more funding.
Now married and thinking about where to raise her future children, Wang hopes to become a citizen and stay in the U.S., which may prove difficult should Trump regain the presidency and continue his previous policies seeking to limit the path to citizenship. But lawyers who help immigrants like Wang say confronting the flawed system is necessary for U.S. prosperity.
A case that might have taken 4 or 5 hours before it may take 15 hours now because you have to constantly go down every little rabbit hole they're going to go with you. We have gone through periods in our history where we've experienced a kind of social schizophrenia and tried to cut off the flow of the immigrants, but inevitably the door is always opened back up because we need those people to invigorate our economy.
With Harris and Trump running one of the tightest races in history for the White House, Wang worries that anti-immigrant policies and sentiment may grow should Trump win. But those fears, she says, aren't enough to make her want to give up.
I'm not just gonna okay, things are bad, bye, I'm just gonna leave. You should stay because you choose here and you were using a resource you were given here.
For both Wang and Tu, becoming American reflects their confidence in democracy, a system they believe is worth fighting for, knowing that the freedom to engage in public debate and cast ballots without fear are not rights to be taken for granted. Luffy Lee and Joyce Tseng in Boston for TaiwanPlus.